Whether you're catching waves at the beach, bowling with your favorite group of friends, or stealing time at work, the Superhero Homies podcast has got your back. With nearly 1,000 hours in content, we're sure to keep you engaged for hours, like 1,000 of them, with our engaging, thought-provoking, mind-blowing discussions about comic books. Wait, hold on. What's that? You say you already listened to the Superhero Homies podcast? Well, how about Patreon? For $3 a month, $3 non-superhero movie reviews. Hell yeah. Video game discussions. Slap my ass. And now you get early access to new episodes. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Stop fucking around and go to patreon.com/superhero homies because you deserve it. And here we are. Homies one and all, welcome to a very, very special episode indeed of the Superhero Homies podcast. This is going to be a bit of a throwback here because back for the first time, in the words of Ludacris, my name is Superhero Homie Q, and I am joined here by my good friend, my brother, the homie Kevin. Welcome back.
Guys, I had the hardest time holding back all my laughter for that introduction. I freaking loved it. Slap my ass. how many takes? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is great to be back. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I've missed you. I hope you missed me. I have no idea. I'm back anyways. It's awesome. Brother, how many times did it take you to record that? I want you to know, if I was still there, it would have taken twice as many times. Because I would be like, I'm sorry, did you just tell them to slap my ass? For that reason alone, homies, why aren't all of you Patreoners? Like, that was amazing.
You know, the it's like I was telling the homies Oz and Caleb and Brendan and whatnot, like that the guy that I outsourced to do that, you know, he's the same guy who I got for like the Homies Award last year, the same guy who I got for Superhero Homies Trivia. You know, I just outsource everything to that guy. He's good. Sometimes he's a little over the top, but you know what? He understands the assignment and he gets it done. So you know, if he says you can have an ass slapping good time, hey, I think that that is worth any amount of money, you know.
What a good guy. He seems to know the content pretty well. You know, you say over the top, he's like, we just getting started.
That's right. As soon as you think that the ride is over, he's like, no. This shit is just starting. Yeah.
You got a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Man, brother, how have you been, man? How's life?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. You want to hear how my day went?
Yeah. Tell me.
Too bad. I'll get to anyways. Dude, I got home from work. Girlfriend gets home. She's like, hey, we're going to be busy the rest of this week. Like I already told you, I got a wedding I got to go to. We're both busy with work as hell. You already get it. Life, adults, etc. Oh, by the way, homies, I moved in with my girlfriend. We're having a great time. I'm a cat dad.
Cat daddy.
See, this is Otto. He's a little thug.
Otto looks like he has no eyes right now.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't he? It's okay. He's probably the best. There he is.
He does have a face.
Yeah, he's very derpy. Yeah. Oh. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. He unplugged the wire. But yeah, she gets home. She brings one of our favorite restaurant meals to go. There's a place up here in Chattanooga. They serve amazing ribs. Shout out to Edley's. And she's like, hey, I got us 2 to-go trays of the full rack of ribs apiece.
Oh, hell
We're
yeah.
going to have date night. And for us, homies, date night is rewatching the classic DC cartoons.
Oh, hell
We
yeah.
already finished Batman. We already finished Batman Beyond. We already finished Justice League. And now we're in Justice League Unlimited.
Good shit.
Hell yeah. So I just got finished watching the Justice League deals with the Ultramen. Indeed.
You said the Ultramen?
No, Ultramen.
Oh, Ultramen. I'm trying to
Yep,
remember.
Ultramen. Yep. They were the children who were manufactured in a factory by Lord Maxwell and Amanda Waller to basically be government-owned superheroes because the Justice League were standalone agents.
God, okay, shit, I forgot about that. I didn't even remember Maxwell Lord being in the show.
I stepped up my game, motherfuckers. I'm Kevin.
Good shit.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, life has been great. To get back to your question, the new job's been treating me very well, homies. It's I listened to quite a few things and quite a few nerdy things on the road, my collection of books has also expounded. I have so many tabletop game books now, brother.
Hell yeah.
So fucking many. Like I have Pathfinder, I have Gory, I have Blades in the Dark, I have the Magnus Archives one that just came out on their Patreon, on their Kickstarter. Yeah. Oh, and D&D. So
of course, gotta have the classics. Damn, my friend.
Yeah.
Have you had any time to play any of said games yet?
A little bit. I've been DMing up here for a good group of mine, and they're a lot of fun, man. They're good. Most of them are beginning players, so there's definitely a lot of like fun room to grow and to learn and to just kind of like become the type of players they're going to become. So in other words, I have a group of min-maxers, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty good. Yeah. That's not true. Actually, Maddie is one of the players in the group. She's don't tell your sources, but she's the best one.
Oh.
This is fun being on video. Why didn't we do this shit earlier?
Yeah. Good ass question. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So it's good to hear you kicking ass in Chattanooga. And it's good to also hear that Maddie's keeping you on the straight and narrow. We have still, as of yet, officially met. Maddie and myself, that is, not you and me. We've met before.
I would say, good sir. I know how you take a protein. We've met.
Hell yeah. But yeah, homies, for those of you who are listening on the wherever you listen to the podcast yes, there is now a video format. Patreon actually has all of the videos that are up so far, and then they're also going to be slowly released to the YouTubes. So if you guys want to see our glowing, glorious, beautiful faces, if you're into that kind of thing, then yes, there are ways you can actually see. And so actually moving forward here, pretty much all the episodes will be recorded in some format, whether the guests are in studio with me or not. So hell yeah.
I like it. You know what we should do, brother?
What's that?
We should go back. We should make time and re-record all the old episodes in video format.
That's the way to have unlimited content.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the hard part about that. We can't just do it as we are now. We're grown people with new opinions and new experiences. We have to retrograde ourselves into our younger selves. We both still have hair, okay? We don't shave it off yet.
Ooh, yeah.
And, we re-record all the shit. Just
as we did all those years ago.
Yeah. How many homies would love that? Let me tell you. Homies, let me get a show of hands. How many hands out there?
You kind of had me in the first half. You lost me in the back half.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't mind re-recording some of those. That would be like fantastic to revisit some of those amazing subjects. You know,
Right. That
um,
would be dope as hell.
yeah, everyone grows. Everyone's allowed to change. So I'd be curious to see how we've changed. So
Yo,
that'd be
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Is it bad that I'm kind of grateful that some of those old episodes have been lost to time? I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, thank goodness, no one can,
Agreed.
no one can find that shit.
I was
Uh,
a victim on a lot of them. Let's be honest, weren't we all? But yeah, no, there are definitely a lot of great episodes, and I'm not gonna say any of them were trash. I just
yeah,
don't believe that. But
yeah.
there definitely were. There are some that shined, and there are some that maybe glue in the dark, like a you know great value toy.
Great
Don't
analogy.
don't
Yep.
sue us, Walmart or Superstore that might have the great value product.
That's right. It's called
But
great value for a reason. It has great value. We're not
exactly,
disparaging.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
exactly. It equates to the good stuff.
right. Uh,
Good times.
so we are actually here for a reason.
Hmm.
Um,
Besides catching up.
besides catching up, yes, that
Yeah.
that is always the prime reason these days, my friend. It's always good to hear from you. Always good to see you. You're here.
Likewise, yeah. I
Only
love this video idea, dude. We got
oh yeah, thank you.
have me on more often.
Oh hell yeah,
Yeah,
hell
yeah.
yeah. I was gonna actually. I told you earlier about the homie Tame. I wanted to have him on for this
Hmm.
because he's recently been binging Invincible. I don't think he's quite finished it yet. I had the idea, admittedly too late. Probably could have invited the homie Caleb on for this because
Mm.
he also wanted to talk about Invincible.
Well, it's
Uh,
not too late. Let's call the motherfucker up. What's he doing? Monday night. He ain't up to nothing.
hey, don't tip me. Have the technology, damn it. We can call this motherfucker right here. Caleb, what the fuck you doing? Hey, grab a
There you go.
computer and
Yeah.
pull up a seat. Yeah.
It'd
Yeah.
be funny if we both called him and who he chooses the answer. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna
Yeah.
result in hurt feelings. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you ignored me, but when Kevin calls, oh, you answer on the first ring, son of a bitch. See if you ever come back on this podcast.
Oh no.
Either one of you both kicked off. No, never again.
I'm gonna go cry now.
Oh, okay. Well, I take it back.
All right, good. All right, all right.
Uh, yeah, but I was actually I saw a an interesting poll online. You know how like the internet has a sick way of interpreting like your likes and your dislikes and your interest and things like that.
Hmm.
Uh,
All too
and
well.
all too well, yeah. I saw a poll online that made me laugh, and the results I thought were even funnier. And I wish I could remember what source posted this poll
Hmm.
uh, because I give them credit, but I honestly don't remember who. So shout out to you, whoever, whatever website or YouTube channel did this. But the poll had 7.7 thousand votes as of the time
Okay.
that I saw it. But the poll was it was something along the lines of you have to watch one of these 10 days straight. Which one are you choosing?
Hmm.
And the options were The Flash, The Marvels, uh, Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny,
I want to hear this.
or and the last option was or paint drying. And and the results were harrowing. So the Flash got 25%, uh the Marvels got 7%, Dial of Destiny got 4%, and Paint Drying got like what was it, 62%?
Brother, I'm no politician, but that's a majority vote.
I think it is. I think that's called a shutout. Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah, that's they won the popular vote.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
they did.
yeah.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. I mean, you
Uh,
just saw me turn to watch this paint, and it's not even drying.
uh,
Uh,
yeah, I thought that shit was hilarious and also very telling about the state of current big blockbuster movies right now. Things has been bizarre. This has been a an off year for Hollywood and an off year for superhero movies. Uh, we still have one more to go this year. I guess I need to get my
and
fucking ticket. Um,
same
Aquaman.
here.
Yeah.
Two things about that: one business and one less business, but
Mhm,
important still to me. Uh, so it's funny. The last one that we had for the year, if I do recall correctly, good brother, was
mhm.
one that you nor I had much faith in, come the Superhero Homies Award, if I do recall that correctly. Yeah, because you're talking Aquaman 2.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think we had much faith in it come the Homie Awards. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure both of us were like,
Yeah. No, it
"That's
was.
got real mid energy."
It does. But
Yeah.
here's the crazy thing. Like it has
Huh.
really good energy. Like I think that Aquaman 2 would be every bit as tropey and generic and probably every bit as visually gorgeous as the first one.
You
And
got a point.
I thought that the first one was I mean, it was your standard fanfare action flick with all the cliches and tropes and all the shit that you've seen 1,000 times before. But admittedly, I would take that over most of the shit we got this year.
Mm,
So if that's what they give me, don't get me wrong, I won't love it and I won't be ecstatic about it. But
mm.
shit, man, like if you tell me like I have to eat dog food and then I spend a year eating baby shit, and then you tell me to eat the dog food again, I'm gonna go for the dog food. And
What's that shit? Beef and gravy flavored? Ooh.
yeah,
Brother, that leads me to a great lead up to my second comment I wanted to make.
mhm,
I've missed this.
yeah,
Can I just have a quiet moment of reflection to say how I've missed this? So I I don't get to share these opinions as
mhm,
powerfully or as loudly or as hilariously as I used to be able to all the time. I think I took it for granted, you know. And now I go see these movies and I talk to Maddie about them and I can't really talk to no one else about them, you know. And what's great about that is that on the podcast I was not afraid to be offensive.
it's a beautiful outlet, you
It
know.
is. It's so good. You put the headphones on, you put the mic on, you know you're about done. That's
Right.
about all she wrote.
Yep.
I do digress, though. I say all that to get to the real thesis of the statement. I've missed doing this, dude. This is
Oh,
always fun. Always
yeah.
good. It's always good to know that our tastes have not differed and forked in such a dramatic direction that instead I can watch a movie and have our psychic tether yank and be like, okay, he's got the same opinion.
Yeah. And, brother, I thought that like there's not a lot of benefits to having you away because obviously I lost my co-host,
Mm.
but I was like unselfishly he's not gonna have to watch a lot of the shit that I have.
You know what's
So
funny about that?
was that
You know what's funny about that?
you've seen all of the shit, right?
Seen all the shit. I still saw it, homies.
It's like I forgot that Ant-Man 3 even came out this year. And
Wait, which one?
Ant-Man 3.
Yeah, Quantumania. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot that came out. And I was like, oh, holy shit. This has been a long year. This year needs to end so we can get to another better year.
I will say this though, one low key benefit before we get to the main juice of the content here. Um, I did not see all of it in theaters. I waited till some of it was on TV.
I do
Yep.
not blame you at all.
Hmm.
Yeah,
My wallet has thanked me
yeah.
profusely.
Brother, I don't know. I think it's probably across the board, but man,
Hmm.
park it. Uh, movie ticket prices have increased.
Dude,
Like,
it's dramatic. Yeah,
oh
it's bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like you know how much it hurt my feelings personally. to pay $20 to go see the Marvels.
Oh, because you
I
went to like GTX City.
yeah, brother. I question like maybe I should just shut down the podcast. Like, I was like, how? This is true. Like that was truly a test of my commitment and love for the podcast game because
Kevin Feige was really testing your metal. That's
he
what it
was.
was. Yeah.
Not only that, but like all of my planned co-hosts fell through for the Marvels. All the other movies that came out this year, it was fairly easy to find people. All of a sudden, the Marvels comes around, no
Yeah.
one is to be found.
I remember you telling me that. I
Yeah,
remember because I think you said it in a text message. Like so homies. I got Q in the habit with me. I hardly ever type my messages. I always vocal record them. Thank you, microphone. And I remember the recording. Like, yeah, coincidentally, Caleb nor Oz. Nobody saw that shit with me.
even Brendan, I
Yeah.
couldn't get him. He backed out on me.
Not even Brandon.
He didn't even get Brendan. Shout out to you.
Brother. Shout out to you, Brandon. I hope you're doing good, brother. Yeah. I hope you're playing the hell of a barbarian. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, like that was I've had several people now tell me that I sounded depressed on that review. And that's what I was. All right.
I listened to part of it. I didn't listen to the whole thing because I already knew. I
Yeah.
listened to part of it, and I can concur. You sounded like you listened to that one sad song Logic did that we all forgot about. Yeah.
I needed to hear that song
Yeah.
after I saw the movie. Yeah.
Shout out to Logic, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
Anyways, but that's just not to pick on the Marvels, and we're gonna move on here
Man.
and talk about something good really soon here.
Yeah. I'm super excited for this, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, a precursor comment. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is like the Marvels was it was as expected.
Yeah.
I think we literally called this like a year ago, like the movie's gonna be bad, and lo and behold, the movie was bad.
Actually, to pair with your comment, and this obviously isn't the title card on today's episode, but it still gets deserved to be said. One thing we didn't foresee was the difficulties that the movie went through in order to still hit the screen. Just to give Disney a little credit there, we didn't expect the rewrites and the reshoots and the writer strike in between and all that jazz. So
I give them. I mean, here's the thing though.
What's up?
Nowadays most movies go through reshoots or rewrites, especially like these blockbuster movies. So I don't give them any leeway on that. And in terms of the writer's strike, the movie was already done being written when that movie was coming.
I'm sorry, Marvel. I tried. Let me just slide that check back across the table. There we go.
The only downside that the strike gave to that movie was, oh man, charismatic Brie Larson couldn't go do a press tour and promote the movie.
I'm sorry, who? What are we talking about?
But no, Iman Vellani, she was the only person who seemed like she wanted to be there, So shout out to her. She did.
Her.
Yeah. But I just wanted to mention that because like you contrast that with The Flash, and expectations were so high, and that movie could not reach that pinnacle. Even though they had all the tools in the world to do it, it just didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then you have, in the middle, just looking at the poll there, you have Dial of Destiny, which was kind of up in the air because it was like another Indiana Jones movie. But then James Mangold, the same director who did Logan, was doing that movie, and you're thinking maybe there's potential.
Yeah.
And then I saw the movie, and I was like, that was fucking awful. That was not my cup of tea. So it's interesting, right? Just looking at like the big blockbusters. I think for me, there's only really been two that have hit the mark, and that's probably Guardians Volume 3, and Across the Spider-Verse, which I think is probably still the best movie I've seen in theaters this year.
Agreed. No argument, dude. That was
Yeah.
I saw it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit was great.
At ridiculous ticket prices. Yeah.
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 You see, that's worth it though.
All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it, but I wouldn't complain either. I will still be complaining about what I paid for the Marvels next year. Oh, but
Oh my
okay.
gosh. All right. Well,
Well,
the good news is for tonight's episode, you
yeah,
don't need a movie ticket.
you don't.
You might just need to pay Amazon Prime, but you don't need a movie ticket.
You don't.
Yeah.
They are working on a movie still, live action. So we'll see what happens there.
So what though?
I said they are still working on a live action movie for Invincible. So we'll see what happens there with that.
Yeah. Sorry, my audio cut out for a second, but yeah, I did not know that actually a live action one.
Yeah, they are still planning a live action Invincible. I mean, I don't think they've made very much leeway on that, and honestly, I don't know what a live action Invincible would even look like because that's a lot to cover. Like, what would it encompass?
A much older Henry Cavill and angrier.
I
But also,
can see,
Henry Cavill is not allowed to voice himself. It would be J.K. Simmons.
I can see Henry Cavill being playing an Omni Man. That'd be cool as hell.
That'd be dope. He's got the
Yeah.
size, yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
it has to be J.K. Simmons.
It has to be his voice.
Yeah. Guys, just to get started, because I can't hold the lid on this comment anymore.
Yeah.
I would pay J.K. Simmons. What's that website where you could pay to have like a movie star or a TV star like record you a message or something? I
Yeah.
got you a gift for it once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cameo. Yeah, you got me, Commander
Yeah,
Shepard.
yeah, that's right. Commander Shepard. I got him to do the classic
Yes.
The Superhero Homies is my favorite podcast
Yes.
on the ship. I can't remember.
Citadel.
The Citadel, thank you. But I would pay to have J.K. Simmons yell motivational shit at me. No, not tell me. You heard me correct. Not tell me motivational shit. I need him to yell it at me. And I would pay for that shit. Like, hurt me personally shit. To be like, I will get my shit together, J.K. Simmons. I am sorry to disappoint you. Yeah.
That's like your version of a dominatrix. You just
Basically. But it's
right.
just like fanboy. It's
Yeah.
just like, God damn, I love you in Whiplash.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like JK, like he does a lot of roles that are a wee bit intimidating. Like he has a presence about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be cool as hell, man. And so before we get too far into things here, guys,
Yeah.
there will be obviously full spoilers for season 1 of Invincible, the Adam Eve special, and of course the first 4 episodes of season 2. That is all of the live action. That's all of the animated material currently on Amazon for Invincible. And then at the end there, just for fun and games, there's going to be a brief spoiler section where we kind of talk about some shit that happens in the comic book that has not happened in the show yet. And so that's going to be a lot of fun to talk about there as well. And we give you guys a full notice when we get to that part, so no one's going to be caught off guard.
Amen. As always, Quentin, I'm not sure if any of their homies tell you this, so, mark me one of the best because I do so. Thank you for the reading of the rules.
Oh, thank you, my friend.
Appreciate it. So yeah, man, let's
yeah,
let's get started. Let's fuck this pig. Yeah.
I didn't know that's what we were doing here, but I'm game.
All right. Nope. We're good. I'm on camera now.
So yeah, this picks up immediately after the conclusion of season 1, which was at this point about, I guess, 2 years ago. I think it was 2021 when season 1 came out.
Yeah, I think you're right, dog. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just a really fucking long layoff. What you think about episode 1 coming back into Invincible right after like the super bloody hellish fight between Omni-Man and his son Mark Grayson?
So funny enough, actually, 2 quick comments. The first is like my 1.5 comments. Like, remember we got that short skit of Alan the alien and
Right.
Mark eating lunch together. And Alan was like, "Bro, when's this gonna come out? You guys have waited forever. I don't know, soon. Well, when soon? You gotta give me." There was that short cartoon, if the homies recall.
Mhm.
It's I'm sure it's still up on YouTube somewhere. Intermittent Invincible cartoon. But
Yeah.
dude, I really dug episode one actually. Like I began watching it and I like how the animation can can get away with like a narrative style that the comic books are normally known for being the only medium that can do this.
Right.
So in other words, you finish book one, close, put it down, you pick up book two, open it, and in a comic book fashion, and even in a written medium fashion, to be honest, you can start off with something jarring, with something like second guessing, to say, wait a minute, did I misremember that? You pick up book one, you read the ending again. Nope, I didn't second guess that. And you're wondering what happened. I love that they did that with episode one. That was really cool to see, like that alternate version
Right.
where we get introduced not really to our protagonist so much, but
Mhm.
more so to a much other and much more another important character. Excuse me. Yeah. So that was very fascinating to see that kind of like otherworldly approach to our story, but not our story.
This was that was the best bit of multiversal content I've seen. Uh shit, maybe maybe ever. Like, you know, I mean, DC couldn't do it, Marvel couldn't do it, but damn it, Invincible said, "This is how you do a multiversal layup."
I
Maybe
mean,
Rick and Morty season two.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I am sure glad the comment section is not live. I could just imagine how often do they shit on the Disney multiversal. Like, well, are we wrong?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Come on.
You're not wrong though. Yeah, like the, so. Okay, I was about to say something spoilery, so let me close my mouth there. But to kind of like edit the same comment, this this story does a great job of that. Like this story relies on its multiversal self, and it does so strongly. Where it's not like over encumbering, it's not rule breaking. It's not
Right.
like a convenient otherworldly self. So yeah,
But also, like in terms of these 4 episodes, they don't go back to it, and they really don't have to, and they really also don't have time either.
no,
But that's kind of the beauty of it, right? I think that Invincible, like the entire comic run, is 12 volumes, which equals to like 144 issues. It's a lot of story,
yeah,
and I'll take a step back here. It was so interesting over the past couple of days, just kind of flipping through the comics again, because it fucks with my brain because I'm like, okay, so this event, for example, the what they call the animators, they were like the robot zombies that we saw in season one, made by
mm.
they don't show up until book two.
Oh, the Animan.
The Animan, yeah,
Yep,
the
yep, yep,
Animan,
yep, yep. I was
yeah.
like, animators? No, no, no. That's the guy who drew it, brother.
Yeah, Ryan Notley, yeah, is the
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
But yeah, like I believe they don't show up until book two. And I was like, holy shit, that's right. But we saw them in season
yeah,
one.
yeah. Because that's when
And
Homeboy went to college. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
And then there's like you know, uh the way that there were like some other things I saw too that I was like, oh, okay, this thing actually happened in book one, but it wasn't introduced until season two. And so, like, there's a
Mm.
lot of weird shifting and back and forth there. But somehow the show still maintains like this narrative function, like it never loses itself. And so when we get like Angstrom Levy, and it is Levy, damn it, we talked about this,
Yeah, we did. We made fun of that, guys, but we
right?
got your backs. It's Angstrom Levy.
Right. This Angstrom Levi bullshit. Yeah. So
That was so awkward when I heard that on the show. I
right,
was like, "What did you say?"
Angstrom Levi.
Yeah, and the voice actor for that, by the way, is Sterling K. Brown, and a very
Oh,
impressive actor. Yeah,
oh
and
yeah.
I'm like, how'd you pronounce that?
You're
And
right.
my
Right.
brain like refused to accept it as canon. Like it can't be. It's Levy.
Right.
Yeah,
Everyone knows that.
yeah.
And like you joked, like off mic, that's just got to be the variant that can't pronounce his name right. But
Almost identical except that one thing. Yeah.
that one thing, almost, yeah, it's like if you were a variant of yourself, right? But you refer to yourself as Kevin, like wait, but everything else was completely the same, but your name is Kevin.
I'd be like, I'm sorry, bro. Did you fall on your head? Which which injury did it?
There's several, could have been any. Take your pick. Uh, but with Angstrom Levy, and also with that brief opening in episode 1, you're like, where is this gonna go? If you're not familiar with the comic books, you're probably curious, where is this gonna lead? How does this tie in, and what all is gonna happen here? And that does kind of lead me to a question that maybe is more suited for the spoiler field section, but like I do wonder how they're gonna balance that out, because some of these plot lines in the comic books last a while, and I don't know if an animated TV show can maintain that kind of consistency the way that a comic book can,
Yeah.
uh, but it's going to be interesting though, nonetheless.
So it's funny you mentioned that. That was actually one of my comments I had written down as well. And
Mhm.
it's no surprise because we saw this type of storytelling in season one. And
Yeah,
to those who are familiar with the graphic novel, you know exactly what we're talking about. This story is ballsy. And it's
yeah,
not ballsy in that the content it puts out is just like that balls to the walls crazy or anything like that. It's a very well told story through and through, whether it's the pages or the TV show, because honestly, both are great. But
yeah.
it's ballsy in the fact that it plates so many storylines
Hmm.
at the same time. Like in one episode, you know, comically enough, we get Rick and Morty, for instance, makes fun of this. Where you got the A and the B plot, A plot, B plot, and Rick is like, "I refuse to be B plot ever." You know,
Right.
this show can consecutively carry out A, B, C, D plots, even. And it's intimidating because a lot of showrunners technically, how the hell are you gonna do that?
Right.
And so that's a legit question, Q. And honestly, I'm worried that they're going to collapse under their own weight.
Hmm.
But one, we know Robert Kirkman. This is not his first TV show. We have to give credence to the fact that this
Yep.
was the story thereafter, The Walking Dead. At least in his TV production. Hello, Pico. What's up, girl? Good girl. But see, here's cat number 2. Hey,
Hey, Captain.
everybody. It's Pico. Yep.
Hello there,
She's a
Pico.
girl. She's got a bow tie. Oh, there it is. See? Bow tie.
Nice.
Yeah. She's a good one. She's like the non-chaotic one.
Ah,
Yeah. There you go, girl. Put you right back on the bed. But I digress. I was
you know,
talking about the plots. Yeah.
yeah. uh, that reminds me, Stephen Young, like,
Oh,
does he
the
have,
voice
like,
actor for Invincible. Yep.
yeah, like, was it just coincidence, or were they looking for people who also worked on Walking Dead?
I honestly, I think it's like the Quentin Tarantino
Uh,
principle. It's like Robert Kirkman saw, hey, you're good. I can rely on you. Yeah, come audition for this.
right.
So,
Glenn, that was his character's name. I couldn't think of it earlier. Yeah.
Glenn. Yeah. Who, frankly, yeah, he lasted a long time in both the show and the graphic novel, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Kudos.
Um, yeah, kudos. You made it better. But oh, that's what I was talking about. The big difference in between this and The Walking Dead, however, The Walking Dead, frankly, in my opinion,
Yeah.
did not know when to end. It had a great story, it had a great storytelling method, and it just did not know when to stop. You
Yeah.
know? Whereas this has a beginning and an end.
Yep.
It's there. We know where it's at. We know how to get there. And so as long as we don't think, oh, let's make issue like graphic novels 13, 14, 15. In other
Yep.
words, make it a 280 issue rather than 144, like you said, then we should be fine. Knock on wood.
But there's always the problem of money, and
Yeah.
I guess maybe it depends on how much control Robert Kirkman has, or because I think he is more hands-on with this than he was with Walking Dead. I hope.
I hope.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Uh, Also, just a fun sidebar here. Did you know that Stephen Young is actually supposed to play, of all characters, the Sentry?
I saw that. I thought it was a joke.
I thought so too.
I have no idea what that is about. Like, I'm sorry, who?
I'm like, no disrespect to Stephen Young, but I'm like, has anyone seen a picture
Are
of
you
this?
playing the void?
Right.
So you had the same thing.
Oh
Who?
yeah,
In what movie? Is this the MCU? It
yeah.
has to be, right? He's an MCU property.
Yep. And
Yeah.
that's supposed to be the main bad guy for the Thunderbolts movie. And I'm like, the fuck are they gonna do to the Sentry? you know?
We'll recruit him for one, but
yeah. Just a funny sidebar there. Maybe the Sentry's gonna be completely CG. They're like, we can't find a guy that jacked, so we're just gonna CG.
oh man.
I'm just making an
Yeah,
assumption
yeah.
here. Yeah, I mean that's yeah, we'll see.
Hmm.
Yeah.
James McAvoy. You gotta give him a blonde wig for James McAvoy. You know, we
We saw
saw him
him
get, we
up
saw
for
him with some physique. You know,
yeah,
with Split.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
yeah.
And we saw him with Split Blaine personalities too. So yeah,
That also tracks. Yeah.
there you go.
I felt kind of bad because I was like, is Stephen Young gonna play like the human form of Sentry? Like when like is
Yeah,
that
yeah. What? Bob Richards.
Bob Reynolds?
Reynolds. Yeah, I'm
Of
sorry.
course,
Bob
Bob
Richards
Richards,
is from a
car
commercial.
salesman. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess not a sponsor either. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
not a sponsor.
Not a
Unless you
sponsor.
guys want to give me a car, I guess. Then I'll sponsor you, sure.
No. 2 cars. I need one too.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. Two cars. Yes.
yeah.
Make that two,
Two,
please.
two
Uh
times Tuesday.
Anywho, back to the Invincible here though. Like
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed the opening for that first episode, man.
Yeah.
That shit was good. And it for me it kind of had the going back to Rick and Morty, it had the evil Morty effect where you kind of wonder, well, when are we going to see that again and what
Mm,
happens with that in the future? The
yeah.
difference is the Invincible storyline actually is actually going to go somewhere with that.
Mm,
Whereas Rick and Morty for a few seasons kind of lost their way with it and kind of tried to, play it off like it wasn't that big of a deal.
yeah.
With Invincible here, they are going to go someplace with what we saw in that episode, with
Mhm.
the alternate universe versions of some of our heroes. Um, I also really liked how in these episodes they play up oh my gosh, is it what's his mom's name? Susan? Sandra.
Debbie.
Debbie. Sandra
Yeah.
is the name of the actress who voices her. Sandra Oh.
I was like, brother, this is a rare occurrence. One of us is gravely sick.
Right.
But yes, Debbie, aka played by Sandra Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yes. So we're both right.
Yes, right.
Uh, yeah, dude. No, I love the attention they're giving to Debbie as a character.
Yeah.
Um, that's one thing the show is actually doing really well, giving attention to characters that the graphic novel didn't have room for or didn't make room for.
Yeah.
We got to see them to some relevance. Debbie in one case, we'll talk about others in a jiffy. But
Mhm.
dude, Debbie has a good story, and it
Oh yeah.
deserves to be told.
Yeah. And I guess in the comic books fairness, we do see her, really deal with that kind of grief in the comic book, but she does it mostly alone. And I mean, the animated show just it does it differently, but I think to like the same degree. But we do get to see just more of her kind of going through that, because that's gotta suck. Um, there are some interesting things that the show does leave out that the comic book has in it, but I understand why, because they have to they only have so much time and they have to get things moving.
Yeah.
So uh I mean, there were parts where like Mark is talking with like the principal, um, who tells him that we know that you're going through something really difficult right now, losing your father. So you missed 3 weeks of school, but we're gonna work with you so you can make it up. And we see Mark going through shit like that in the comic books.
Yeah.
Whereas in the TV show, they kind of more or less get to the point of that. You know,
Yeah.
I I appreciate that in the comic books because the pacing is going to be different,
Yeah.
than the TV show.
Yeah.
Um,
Luckily, it plays off well in the show.
it
So
does, yeah,
yeah, it works. Yeah.
yeah, it works really well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I also, not to sidebar us again, but I also, after seeing these first 4 episodes, I really appreciate the fact that they gave us the Adam Eve special because
Yeah.
she doesn't really get a whole lot in these episodes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially being, the kind of star player that we know she is.
Yeah. What's amazing about that too is that's a lot of story that we don't get access to in the pages. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like, oh, this is a surprise. Oh, thank you. Was I a good person this year? Can I get this? And it was awesome. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
okay, done. Canon. Moving on. Yeah. So
Did you see if Robert Kirkman wrote that? Because I don't know. I don't know.
I think he did.
Okay,
I'll have to go double check, so don't hold me to the court to that. But I
I'm
think
holding.
he did. You know
Okay.
what? I'm gonna look it up. I got another cell phone right here. So,
Yeah. If only
uh,
we had like laptops or something in front of us that
oh my
allow.
gosh! Wait. Technically, hey, you ready for this?
Yep.
You guys just saw me put my cell phone in my right hand, right? What's
Oh
this then?
yes. Oh. Oh.
Ah!
Ah.
I have a laptop, no longer in my back pocket, but in my front
Okay.
pocket.
Had to do it. Okay.
Anyways, okay. Shout out to the song. All right. I'll look it up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Adam Eve. She doesn't get a whole lot to do in these first 4 episodes, but that's okay because I mean we know that as the story progresses, she's gonna get more. Um, the big question that I think everyone was wondering, especially if you haven't read the comic books, is where is Nolan, Omni Man, and what's gonna happen? Like, are we gonna find him again? And what's gonna happen when we finally get back to him? Um, I don't know about you, brother. I'm sure we probably talked about this maybe a couple years ago when we reviewed season 1, but when I first read the comic book, um, I was like, man, in my mind, after I read book 1, I was thinking, okay, well, Mark is gonna have to like train up. He's gonna go through some bullshit, and then maybe a few books down the line, he's gonna run into Omni Man again, and they're gonna have to run it back. And
Yep. She
but
was gonna have the Dragon Ball Z syndrome. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be maybe a closer fight, and they're gonna find some cool ways to do it. Uh, Robert Kirkman, to his credit, he came up with a very um, disarming kind of solution to the Omni Man issue, which is he still Mark's dad. You know.
Yeah. I mean, what's relevant about that comment, by the way, Robert Kirkman did write Adam Eve. So,
Oh, okay,
yep,
good.
this special episode, he did write it, homies. I just looked it up. We're all good.
Hell yeah.
Okay, to your comments now. What's interesting about that is he wrote in the Omni Man, whatever your verbiage you just used, the conundrum. What was it again?
That's the issue.
Okay. He
Yeah.
wrote that into the story to where it wouldn't even serve as an issue. And what's
Right.
lucky about that is we had such iconic roles such as Superman previously to help us kind of realize that hurdle. Once you have like an omnipotent superhero that's basically a god with a red or whatever cape,
Yep.
what's the real story there? Because there's no challenge, there's no adventure to
Right.
be had because what could stop them? So with Omni Man, it just took clever writing. And there's like some really clever writing in there where we actually see Omni Man not have to deal with shit like a super tank who could just eat the sun or lift time or whatever fucking joke I'm making, but instead have other relevant issues to go through. Like you're mentioning, for instance, that he's still a dad
Yeah.
and that he's learning to deal with that whole weight. And that's a whole new ball game. You can't just punch that in the face.
Right.
So yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see like how they play that out in the show. I imagine it'll be really similar. It's also interesting, man. Like whenever you get the opportunity, like going back through the comic books, you see that man. Not only did the show take heavy inspiration, but like this is literally panel for panel, like word for word in certain cases. You know.
Yep. I would love to take those opportunities, brother. I sure would. I sure golly would. But my library card seems to have expired.
Oh well.
I need
Well,
to
hey,
go get a new library card for the library of Quentin.
you moved away from the library and you lost access.
It's not my fault.
Yeah,
Homie,
here
it's
you
totally my fault.
go.
I
No,
could literally go get the books.
yeah,
I should. They're good books.
they are. Yeah, they recently released them in like omnibus format. I think they released them in like 4 different omnis.
Hmm. If
Uh,
there wasn't a copyright law, I'd just ask you to just show us page by page what's happening.
I was about to, but I didn't because I was like, there's probably still some spoilers in book 2.
That too. Also, probably some relevant laws that could, uh, eat us alive. So,
Well, I'm
I don't
sure
know.
Robert Kirkman wouldn't dare, or Jeff Bezos. He
No, no, no. The former, I think he'd be an okay guy about it compared to Jeff Bezos.
right.
Like, look, man, I'm a so bald white guy. Come on, okay? What do we got going on here? He's like, I do not care.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna ship you this ass whooping. Oh. Oh.
What's embarrassing about this new podcasting medium, brother, is people can see just how ridiculous I laugh for this shit. Oh, that got me so good. If Jeff Bezos was a Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah. One day shipping, bitch. Uh,
Oh, that got my eyes a little wet. Oh, excuse me. Oh my gosh.
oh shit. Okay.
Hello.
We're back. We're here. Yeah.
You see this ass whooping.
Yeah.
That was good. That was really good, dude. Like, well done. God damn. That got me so. I want you to know now in the background of my mind, in the subconscious, I'm low key gonna be thinking about other things Jeff Bezos could say to sound tough while marketing his product.
Right. Oh, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Um,
on track. We're back.
so this is
It's
just a
not been
small.
an hour in.
This is just a small detail. We don't have to spend a lot of time here. I'm just curious to get your thoughts.
What's up?
In the TV show, when the people from the Bug Planet come to recruit Mark to bring him back to their planet,
Mhm.
he shows up as Seance Dog.
Yep.
Um, which
You're right. That didn't
is
take a lot of time.
was that? Oh, yeah,
I was just
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
asking.
Um,
Moving on. No, no, no. What's up?
which,
What's up?
obviously like a play on like Doctor Strange. We also see Seance Dog and like some issues in the comic book itself.
Mhm.
Being the comic book that Mark reads. But his actual favorite comic book wasn't Seance Dog; it's Science Dog, and that's who shows up in the comic books. It's like a guy dressed up like a buff adventurer dog who shows up. That's his favorite character.
Hmm.
I was just curious. I wonder why the change from Science Dog to Seance Dog. Again,
Simplicity.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I was just
Because like
curious.
in the pages that would make sense because you have more time and better pacing to take
Mhm.
advantage of that and to just kind of show that nuance. In the TV show, I feel like it serves the same purpose.
Well,
And
it
it
does.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, it absolutely serves the same purpose, but
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're just being clever, like a play on words. Like seance sounds really similar to science, so we'll go with that.
Well, what's
Um,
funny about that is like one is all magic. So
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
if he calls himself Science Dog, that's almost counterintuitive. That's like Rick calling himself the best magician, even though we know he's a scientist, crazy. Rick, of
Yeah,
course, from Rick and Morty. Yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
clever.
Uh, so this was one of like those I call it the old school Game of Thrones twist, whereas like people who read the Game of Thrones books, some of them, thankfully not all of them, but some of them are really pretentious, like we know what's gonna happen and you guys don't. You're gonna freak out when you see this, blah 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 blah. And you know, comic readers to a degree online, they've been that way too for Invincible, and they're also kind of insufferable in that regard.
The toxic
But
fandom, man, they always exist.
yeah, people
Yeah,
just want people to know that, oh, I know what's gonna happen. I'm like, okay, bitch, yeah, like,
yeah. I'm glad that makes you superior. Haha. Which
right,
tax bracket are you in?
right.
Yeah.
um, and I hope we never come across as those
I
types.
hope not.
Yeah,
Man, that would
um,
suck. Yeah.
good. But the only reason I bring that up is because as a comic reader, when you first read that, you're like, okay, Mark's going on another adventure, and the Robert Kirkman, he conditions you to get used to seeing Mark going on adventures, like him going to the fish people, or Mark
Or
going,
Mars.
yeah, or Mars, yeah. You get conditioned to seeing Mark going on random adventures,
Mhm.
and so this sounds like another one, but it's not. Omni Man is here, and this is all a ploy to draw in Mark. Um, did this moment for you hit any differently in live action or in animated form versus comic books?
Um, a little bit,
Mhm.
but that unfortunately is a moment that was robbed from me from the TV show. Like I think that would be a better question to ask someone who hasn't read the book. And then to like somehow extrapolate both of those experiences and compare them to one another, if
Yep.
if such a means to simply do so existed. Because in the comic book, that was a big dramatic moment. That was a
Oh yeah.
big card. You didn't see that coming. In the TV show, they play it really well.
Yeah.
They play the scene where the ending scene of that third episode, I had to think about which one,
Hmm.
is that's the cliffhanger.
Yep.
The last thing said in the entire show is, hello, Mark. And you see the shot of him like at the top of the stairs with his hand extended.
Yep.
Um, that moment was really cool, but I can't say it hit the same,
Mhm.
because we knew. We
Yeah.
saw the bug people and we knew that they drew them a little differently, a little bit more PG, but we knew that was the same bug people from the planet Nolan happened to be the Emperor on because he's old as fuck to these people because he's older
Yep.
than a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because because his lifespan exceeds of a chicken McNugget.
Yeah.
Uh,
This man's on preservatives.
what do you mean he's been here for 10 months? No one's lived that long.
No one does that long.
It's impossible.
He's
This man's
evolved.
this man's a goddamn god.
Make him the ruler of the planet.
Um, I will say this though, to the show's credit, like they know that they can't pull the wool over the eyes of people who read the comic books.
Right.
But what they can do is keep the pacing in such a way that they can make the expected feel unexpected. Like,
Hmm.
okay, so Mark shows up on the planet in episode 3, and as soon as you see Seance Dog, you know that's going to happen. But when you see, um, right, like at the beginning of episode 4, the other Viltrum might show up. You're like, oh, we're doing this right now.
Yeah. That was the surprise.
Yeah,
That was the moment where I was like the conversation is so funny enough. What I made the joke earlier, but it made me think, oh, Dragon Ball Syndrome. We're gonna get them training a little bit, maybe like a quick scene or two of like fighting, punching, like
yep,
maybe Mark dealing with that PTSD, with that hard
mhm,
emotion of you beat the fuck out of me before, but now you expect me to help you. But instead, it's like, oh, I need you to deal with this right now because they're here, all
yep.
three of them. Yeah, yeah,
And I mean, and that's kind of the great thing about the show. Like they change the things that they can for simplicity's sake to make the show more consumable, while also making it, easy to follow and streamlined. But they also keep the things that they absolutely know they have to keep, and sometimes exactly the same. And this being one of them.
Yeah.
Basically, as soon as Mark shows up and talks with his dad for a little bit and meets his little brother, Oliver, that's also in the comic books when these other Viltrumites show up.
But man, he
Mhm.
doesn't have a name yet. He's not old enough to pick his own name.
I just guessed. You know, he looks like an Oliver. You
I'm
know,
on to you.
you know.
Why are you saying that? Because it's purple?
What the fuck is the correlation?
There's purple olives out there.
Uh,
Oh.
okay,
Yeah.
I meant Oompa
I'm
Loompa or Blueberry Kid from Willy Wonka. Like those are too long of names. Oh shit.
Oompa Loompa. Oh shit, here's the Viltrumites.
Yep. Oh shit. Here's the
Yeah,
Viltrumites.
yeah.
And man, they are so fucking dangerous, right? So fucking deadly. And as a matter of fact, I wanted to check something else out here. No
Yeah, go
spoiler.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's so impressive about them is that the Viltrumites, no matter what form they take, like these three, for instance, whenever they came to the planet, we see and we're introduced for the first time different race of Viltrumites in that, hey, no matter if they're old, white, black, uh, whatever the case, they're all just as deadly. And so that's super incredible. And I
Right.
was impressed that the first time we see on the show, at least in this regard, we see a Viltrumite who has a weapon. She has a hair braid with a goddamn dagger.
Yeah, and like the crazy thing about that, right, is like I went through because that fight I thought happened in book two. It actually happens in book three.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah, yeah. And the interesting thing about that is she was not there.
Mm.
It was another Vilchmai. He looked maybe the same, maybe a little bit older than Nolan, which
Mm.
somehow makes him scarier to me. I don't know. There's one other we definitely got to talk about in the spoiler field section, who we cannot wait to see.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. The
yeah,
internet's been lighting up about him, too. Yeah.
I believe it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Y'all thought Battle Beast was scary, and wait till we get to this motherfucker. You but yeah, she actually wasn't in that fight, but I thought I saw her in the comic book somewhere. I could be wrong. Um, yeah, so that fight was every bit as gruesome and brutal as it was in the pages. Like they do not hold back on that, and you think they would to a degree, or at least most studios try to refrain from excessive violence. This show leans into it every bit as much as the comic book does.
Yeah. It's honestly pretty incredible. Like I'm a fan of it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and
Honestly,
just
I was joking with Maddie about this because I was just kind of like, because I've seen the whole episodes 1 through 4, and then
yeah,
she learned that I was going to be on the guest spot again for this particular episode, and
hell yeah,
so yesterday she's like, yeah, let's. 2 days ago we began watching season 2 because she's seen all of season 1 and Adam Eve, and
yeah,
so she's like, yeah, I'm ready for season 2. Let's do it. And so we started watching all of it, and like as episode 4 was starting, I was like, baby, get ready. This is those hands are rated E for everyone. Okay, I'm
yep,
just saying. Yeah. So and yeah, dude, it's pretty great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is great and it is gruesome. Um Mild spoiler alert. So like I did go back and they put that again, like that fight happens in book three. If you're reading it in volumes, that happens in book three.
Hmm.
Like issue 29 is when that fight takes place. And what's interesting are like the little things that they left out. And I think that this was done maybe purposely so. uh you probably remember this. There's a moment in the comic books before that fight takes place, right before it takes place,
Hmm.
right before it really kicks off, where the Viltrumites, they show up on the bug planet and they decimate like thousands or maybe millions of the bug people. And Nolan, he's basically narrating out loud and he says, I've seen much more bloodshed. I've killed more people than they've killed today. Yet why does this make me so angry? Because he's extremely distraught that like these people that he was kind of ruler over, they've just been decimated by these other Viltrumites. And
Yeah.
Mark says, well, that like it's normal to feel this way, about this kind of death and destruction. And Omni Man like throttles Mark by the throat, and he goes, "You don't know anything about like normalcy, when it comes to Viltrumite nature." And it was a little bit of that Omni Man that beat the shit out of Mark was coming back,
Yeah. We see
the
a little bit of that in the show, actually. At the very end of the episode, where he's like he's got one clean hand and one
yeah,
bloody hand, and I called that, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." I love like the I love
symbolism.
the yin yang there. Yeah, the symbolism, yeah. And he grabs Mark, and he's like,
Delete my internet history.
"Exactly, yes, Quentin." He said, "My Mac, just kill it.
Just
Don't
keep,
even
throw that
don't even
bitch in
delete
the
it.
fire.
Just kill it." But no, he did the same thing where he's like, these people were barely a species.
Hmm.
Their lifespans were a speck on the grand scheme of things. Yet, why do I feel this way?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep. Yeah. They get up to that point, but they don't get to the point where he gets violent again with Mark.
yeah,
And I think maybe like I don't think they want to put the viewers on that kind of emotional roller coaster more than they already are with Nolan,
yeah,
because for so long in the comics, and definitely no spoilers here, but it's like you're gonna wonder, how do you feel about Nolan, especially at this point in the story,
yeah,
like do you support this man? Do you understand where he's coming from? Do you forgive him? Is he still a son of a bitch who needs to die?
yeah.
Where are we with him? And
That's a
that's
great
kind of
point.
brilliance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the show doesn't have the luxury of the same pacing and time. Like you made that comment earlier, maybe realizing probably just how much of a staple that instrument is in the storytelling differences between the pages and the screen.
Hmm.
Um, it would not make much sense for Nolan to be like, all right, I'm gonna whoop that whole tail ass. Oh, by the way, here's the three Viltrumites. I need you ready.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That's like Ash Ketchum, like big slapping Pikachu, and all of a sudden, oh, here's Team Rocket. Let's go whoop some ass, Pikachu. Pikachu's like got two bruises on his cheek, like, Yeah.
I think it'd be like when Raditz was dying and he was like,
Yeah.
there's other Saiyans that'll be here, and Piccolo would be like in a year, right? And Raditz like in like 2 seconds, and then and Vegeta and Nappa show up.
He should have been like, yeah, sure. A year. What's a year? Oh,
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Makes you
yeah.
wonder how many other planets came up with the exact same time frame that we did.
I guess it would depend on their sun, right? And like the gravitational
Yeah.
pull,
Yeah.
I'd
Like,
assume.
is the same year the same as an Earth year? Because that's what I heard.
That's a good ass point.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, uh, 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 um, Zulanaut? Zulnaut's planets, whatever the hell they were called, the bug people. I don't
Yeah.
remember the race name, unfortunately. I didn't write it down. But, their year was a whole lifespan.
Right.
So,
That year it was 9 months,
yeah. Yeah.
which is crazy. But that would
Yeah.
be awesome though, like to a degree, because it's like I could have so much unprotected sex and never have to worry about the consequences.
You kind of be doing your planet a favor?
Yeah, yeah,
Nope,
yeah.
I don't like that.
I'm glad you understand.
I immediately regret that decision.
That's the beauty of it. You won't live to regret it. Oh shit. Okay.
There's something to be said there. But
There is.
anywho,
Yep.
there is.
Um, we kind of skipped over another kind of a really big plot beat here, and that is the Alan the alien. Again,
Yeah. He got
perfect.
his own title card.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We've only had 3 title cards. We had Invincible,
Hmm.
Adam Eve,
Yep.
and Alan. Oh,
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
quick question. What do you think of the new title card design? Because the first season was as Invincible continues his lifespan of being very much not invincible, blood splatter.
Yeah.
Now we get cracking. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Mm.
think that's very fitting, actually.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that's a really cool touch. Um,
But yeah, you're about to make a point.
yeah, I was talking about Alan the alien there.
Yeah.
Again, Seth Rogen, a really great choice for that character.
Great.
Uh, and again, he gets his ass whooped by Viltrumites who are looking for Nolan, and that ass whooping is just as much as they start being in the cartoon as it is in the comic book. Um, and it's like, man, they give you the whole rundown on like his origin story and his purpose and how they were trying to make that race of people strong enough to contend with the Viltrumites,
Yeah.
and they thought they succeeded until they realized they didn't. And that kind of leads to us today seeing Alan, who's trying to find someone who can maybe hang with the Viltrumites. He finds Mark Grayson, and now maybe together he's thinking that they can form, or he can join the coalition maybe and stand some kind of chance of winning this fight against the Viltrumites. But that fight, again, this is kind of the Robert Kirkman special, what I'm calling it,
Hmm.
of having things show up unexpectedly and then turn quickly.
Yeah.
Like he's having like lunch or whatever with his girl, with his
Hmm.
girlfriend, and then his ass gets fucking snatched and obliterated and
Yeah.
beat the fuck down.
We get reminded how much of a Cyclops he gets.
Yeah.
Homeboy is looking behind him in a way he didn't want.
Right. He's like, I am
Go watch
literally
it again. I promise. The
yeah,
eyeball floats and watches the Viltrumite coming back for that ass.
right. Like he's literally watching himself get his ass beat in 4K.
Oh man.
He's looking at
Oh.
like, damn, that guy's getting his ass beat. Oh no, that's me.
How
That
do I
is
get this out of body experience? Oh,
my
dude.
yeah.
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 Oh, let me
Bruce.
ask you, brother.
Mhm.
What do you think about? Because like we see that scene where
Yeah.
we get like the nice um forgive forgive the wordplay, but down to earth luncheon between him and his general friend in the coalition, and then we see the whole tail ass whooping, and then shortly thereafter we see Alan somehow alive by the
Yeah.
mercy of whatever gods he has, plural, helping him at that point. And
Right.
then you see Thaddeus.
Yep.
What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, so again, like no spoilers. Um there's a few things. He is one of them, and there's one other character who I want to talk about where it's like seeing it again or even reading it again, it's like I feel like I should have seen certain things coming, you know?
Mm. Yeah, like
Um
watching it in retrospect, it's like, man, my
yeah,
vision's perfect now.
you're
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But yeah, another really big key character here, and I guess like kind of more to the point is there's a traitor, you know,
Hmm.
and trying to figure out who's the fucking mole. Like
And that's
who
the
all
fun thing in the show. We have no idea. It's awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's not awesome for them. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah.
quite sucks for them
It
actually.
quite sucks. They're like, well, golly gee, this blows. I said
Yeah.
it.
Um, but is this our first time seeing Thaddeus in the show? Or
Yep.
did we see him in season
Oh,
one?
sidebar.
Yeah.
Was that son of a gun not Optimus Prime?
I think
I
it
think,
was Peter Cullen. Yeah, I looked
yeah,
at the
Peter Cullen. Yeah,
yeah,
because I was
yeah.
like,
Hmm.
everything he says, I
Yeah.
cannot take seriously. All I hear is
Ops.
Toonami
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Optimus Prime.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
right.
Yeah. And, yeah, and you would be correct because I remember I probably just like you did. I would, every once in a while, kind of hit that down button on the Amazon app and see who's
Yeah,
voicing. Yeah, like
yeah.
oh shit, that is Peter Cullen, huh? Yeah.
And honestly, not to give credence to a company that's already a big corporation with lots of money, but I
Mhm.
love that streaming service, you
Right.
know, has that not just for the actors and the voice actors, but also for the songs playing. Because
Yeah.
Invincible's got some good songs, dude. Yeah.
You shout out to the homie Caleb. Right as season 2 was about to come out, he asked me if I thought we were going to get a Run the Jewel song, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm through it." And then, right at the very end,
Yes.
one, yeah,
Yes. Brother, you have no idea how excited I was. I love the Marlin twins. Homies, if there's any confusion, let me explain. I love the Marlin twins.
oh
Not
hell,
only are they amazing characters, I love them to hell and back. They
yes,
always get run the jewels.
they
Well,
do.
not always, not always. In the first season, they did. Always. Every scene almost like run the jewels somehow. And then the last episode, brother, I was so fucking happy.
Yeah,
So happy. Because we didn't get one until the last episode. And I was like, oh, I guess they're not doing.
right.
Ooh,
There it is. Yeah,
yeah. So so good. I love Run the Jewels. If you couldn't tell, guys,
right. Hell
please be a sponsor.
yeah.
Please, that's all I want.
We've mentioned Angstrom Levy, but we haven't really talked too much about him.
Right.
What do you think of his arc so far in this season?
I really like it in the show so far, dude. Like, I really dig the complexities that they were brave enough to show for him.
Hmm.
We see him as a sane individual with a crazy, but albeit potentially sensible plan.
Yeah,
You know, it's out there, but so is his power. And so is what he's done so far to do it. So sure, why can't he collectively have the memories and the knowledge of his entire selves from other universes?
you know,
And then we see him sanely like, oh, hey, I need you guys to keep me separated. This would be dope. Oh, wait, Invincible. No, what are you doing?
mhm,
Please, you're gonna mess this up. And now, after the surgery, after
little bit.
the chaos, we
Hmm.
see him all of a sudden blaming Invincible for everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And I think that's the kind of nuance that I like with this character. Just because you see what Invincible and Omni Man did in like his world, and with most people, that would be
Technically, most of his worlds. He
in
said that
well,
in like,
yeah, this
yeah,
is an anomaly. Yeah,
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 which is amazing. Yeah.
right. And so you would think that, like, for most comic books or most TV shows that had that type of premise, they would that would give them like the credence to go after and stop Invincible. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So and again, that's not a bad storyline. It makes sense and it tracks, but they go the extra distance with Angstrom Levy because he doesn't have the desire to kill Invincible. From the main universe, like he wants to. He's like, okay, well, your Invincible is good. That's an anomaly,
Yeah.
and he's not looking at Invincible in our universe as a threat. He's looking at him as, oh, okay, that's just a really cool anomaly of sorts. It's not until, as you mentioned, Invincible kind of puts the kibosh on the whole experiment,
Yeah.
where in the aftermath, Angstrom Levy is now trying to blame Mark for everything. Granted, there's probably also a lot of brain damage going on along with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Unfortunate. Yeah.
yeah,
Greatly told, but very unfortunate. Yeah.
yeah. Um, and again, I'm very curious to see how they handle Angstrom Levy because and again, like, not to get into any spoilers, but his story kind of takes place at reoccurring spots in the comic book.
Mhm. Yeah. That's
Like,
true.
yeah. it's like there's always other things, other threats, other problems going on, and then there's also, oh, here's Angstrom Levy. Um, I don't know how that translates to uh, a TV show like this. I don't know if that will potentially get old for viewers, or I don't know if they want to do his story almost entirely and in one or two seasons. I don't know.
Yeah.
At the rate they're going, they probably have at least there's 12 volumes, and they almost do a volume a season, it seems. But I don't know. I'd say maybe 10 seasons, 9 seasons worth of material at this rate.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Yeah.
I
Makes
don't
sense.
know. I just don't know if viewers have enough patience to deal with a reoccurring threat that long. For however long they want them to last.
If viewers had the patience to watch and pretend to remember all the names of Game of Thrones, Pico agrees. Pico agrees. She's a good girl.
Yes, yes,
Then they'll have the patience for this.
yeah,
You know.
that's
Yeah.
true. The difference is those motherfuckers in Game of Thrones, they never lasted too long. Uh,
Mm,
those motherfuckers would come and go within a season or two max.
I told you Pico is a good girl. She doesn't agree with you, but
I see. You know what? And she brings up a good point. You know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Yep.
She's good. She's good. You know, homies, just because you asked, here you go. Boom, there she is. Hey, Pico.
Yeah.
Yeah, good kitty. All right. Well, we're back on track.
Let's talk just a little bit about the Adam Eve special. What you think of it?
Dude, I really liked it. I honestly was very surprised that we got it.
Hmm.
And watching it, it was the first time I got to watch Invincible without having something predicted for me, because I didn't get to read about the Adam Eve special prior in some graphic novel.
Yeah.
Um, it was spoiler for this episode. Yes, I can't remember what was our rule for this.
Yeah. We said we're gonna spoil. Yeah. If,
It's,
if
it's been out for months.
it's on, yeah, if it's on
Yeah.
Amazon, then we're spoiling it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. So yeah, I was very happy that we got to see the Lizard Gang
Yeah.
back in like its early, maybe more competence, and then
Right.
it's retrograde into King Lizard,
Yep.
and then the season two Supreme Lizard. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, or no, excuse me, King Lizard and then Supreme Lizard. There it is.
Yeah.
But don't you knock over that goddamn water, Pico. Um,
Do it, Pico.
no, don't you dare. She will. Um, every cat owner in the world right now is watching, like, yeah, she will. Uh, but yeah, no. So I thought it was really dope watching just like the actual creation of her power, especially knowing like who Eve is and like the struggles that we do get to see her go through in the pages. It's
Hmm.
awesome to see where it all began, you
Yeah.
know, and I don't know, dude. It was a huge compliment to her character. I really like the exposition that we get for her. I like seeing the trials that she gets to go through. We get to see Kill Cannon for the first time. You know,
Yeah.
her favorite nemesis. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really dug it. How about you?
Yeah, I also really enjoyed this, man, because as we spoke about earlier, they really get to delve deeper into some things that are only briefly shown in the pages. Like we get brief exposition from Adam Eve, and then we kind of see a few panels here and there that show us bits and pieces of her past and her story.
Hmm.
And so we get enough in the pages to piecemeal together. Maybe kind of how she came about, but this really gives us a real in-depth analysis of her origin. And you can definitely feel that it was indeed written by Robert Kirkman, just because it has that kind of it's got that kind of morose feel to it, where at times it feels fittingly sad, and at times for something like
Yeah,
this. Uh, but I really enjoyed it, man, because again, just seeing how lonely she was as a child really kind of puts things into perspective as to why she is kind of the way she is as an older person now. So
yeah.
Yeah, I dug the hell out of it, man. And to see her fight like her siblings, that was a fun and kind of gruesome fight. Um, it got
Yeah, the siblings. I forgot about them. Thank you. Yeah,
yeah.
they were crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how would you describe their powers? Like Clayface mixed with like without the morphing, like just the grossness of
Yeah.
Clayface.
Like, oh, dude. It's like a scientist watched Clayface on the news and
Mhm.
said, "I can do that. I know how that was done." And they tried to do the same thing, but cyberpunk.
Right.
Yeah. So, dude,
Yeah.
weird, wacky, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy seeing like what the kids were capable of,
Hmm.
and knowing that that is how Eve could have started.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um. The and this isn't a slight on the show. I
Mm,
mean, or on the special. It's just
yeah.
more of an observation. But I guess her mom was always, a overly submissive, weak woman, and I guess that her dad was always an overbearing asshole.
Yeah, the dad, like, I mean, who doesn't hate the dad? Let's be honest. The
Yeah.
dad's like a pissant.
Yeah.
I don't get to use that insult a lot, but we do see, however,
Hmm.
she's adopted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that much, and I couldn't remember if they ever said that in the comics or not.
Nope, that was new information. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Excellent.
because she's nothing like her mother or
Right.
her father.
Yeah.
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 Granted, in the comics, I mean, we never get wind of that, even though she's redheaded like both of her parents.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. We just see her
Her dad
dad in
ate her birthday cake without her there.
what a dude.
Monster.
Yeah, what a dickhead. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I hope dad's ever watched him and said, "That won't be me," you know? Yeah.
And I might do it. I mean,
You're the dad who looked at that birthday cake and said, "I won't do it." Is that buttercream icing?
you know what? I'm just taking a small piece from the back. They'll
Just a
never
small
know.
piece of that. They'll never know. They'll never know. Half the cake later.
It's a kiss. You don't need the whole thing.
You don't know the whole thing. What is she, half my size? She gets a quarter of the cake. I ate half of it.
It's dad tax. Yeah.
Dude, dad tax is expensive. That was 50% of the check.
Well, welcome to America.
I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree. Yeah, Pico disagrees. You see this? Homies, I'm glad to get to meet
Uh,
the nice the gray cat. You
yeah.
met both of them technically, but Otto, he's a little chaos monster. He's around here somewhere. So
Mm.
yeah.
Um. Yeah. There was they did go a little anime-ish for me there at the end, like with her Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct form that she temporarily has, and then she
Yeah.
falls. I was like, okay,
I,
um,
it looked bad. I won't say it looked bad. That's
it
actually
didn't
too
look
strong.
bad. Yeah,
It looked cheesy to some degree.
right.
Um, I'll say that much. I agree with you there. Uh, the mercy I'll extend to it and its cheesiness is that it does play uh, for the pages,
It does.
and then I'll
Yeah,
shut up.
yeah, um, yeah, yeah, and yeah, because there's maybe one or two things we'll say about it in like the spoiler field section, which we're probably ready just to go ahead and get into here. I
Yeah,
mean,
at this point,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You got anything else like with the Adam Eve special or the first four episodes
Yes,
that?
actually, we didn't talk about the ending of episode 4. We gotta talk about that. We gotta talk
Yeah,
about
you're right.
how, yeah, we mistrailed
Yeah,
entirely how Invincible meets one of the other Viltrumites, one of the named Viltrumites, General Fuckface. No, that's not his name. That's everyone's name, but not his. Um,
what's this guy's name?
I got it right here. Yeah,
Okay.
I had it. It loaded up some dumb ad. There we go. We'll visit his website where I had all my information. General. I'm gonna find it first.
How dare you?
I lied. I scrolled past it apparently. Oh, there it is. General Craig. Ha.
Great. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
Craig or Krieg. I'm just gonna go Craig. That sounds more fun. It's probably Krieg. But yeah, dude. He was the one-eyed Viltrumite who had like the robotic eye, like the
Yeah.
Deadshot eye.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he gives Mark, hey, Nolan failed. You know, I don't know why he changed his mind. We don't.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna go back to Earth and you're going to take over the planet and get ready for our arrival. And if you don't, we'll kill you and everyone you care about. You
Yeah.
know, that was great. They took
Mhm.
Nolan, you know,
After they
yeah,
broke his back.
they broketed that back in multiple places.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was fucked up. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
And hauled him off. And yeah, that is issue 29 in the comic books here.
Hmm.
And uh and so it's interesting because I only say that just so if you guys at home are reading or wanting to read, you know where you can pick up at now and continue reading. So I assume that the rest of issue 3 is going to be the second half of the season. Which I'm not going to spoil here. I'm just spoiling for myself again.
Okay. Go for it. Go for it.
Should have
Yeah.
already read. And that's kind of the issue that I think both you and I had is that like, we read the entire thing in a very short window, and so it's hard to remember what happened in which book,
As
you
soon
know.
as it got them, we read them, dude. That
Yeah,
shit was hot off the press, and we read that. You know. Yeah.
yeah,
As soon as you got the box opened. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So
Didn't take long.
it was good. It was
Oh
good. But
yeah,
yeah, you're right. Like it all became like instead of 12 separate books, it became one giant Bible of
yeah,
Invincible. And we said I'll read that entire library, you know.
right.
So yeah.
Um, and I think that that's a very smart cliffhanger for them to do. Like, if you got to split the season in half, that's a good place to put it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. I like it, you know.
Yeah.
It gives Mark the heavy decision. Is
Mhm.
he going to carry out with their order? Or is he going to potentially watch his whole planet die? Because he knows these motherfuckers are stronger than him.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So
I mean, and they took his dad, and
yeah.
then you also got to think, man, all of that would be an incredibly tough conversation to have with your mom. But I mean, if you're Mark, you want to talk to your support, who in this case would be like his mom.
Yeah.
But shit, what the fuck do you say? Hey, ma, so like your asshole ex-husband who said you were a pet, and who tried to kill me and so many other people. I ran
Hmm.
into him again, and emotions caught up, and yeah, he got hurt, and I have a little brother, and you know,
Yep.
there would be a lot of things to discuss there. What you think of this cliffhanger ending we got?
Oh, dude. Like I loved it, man. I'm a big fan of it because it's the heaviest decision we get to see Mark decide between now, you
Yeah,
know. Because season one, we very much got to see Mark kind of like get the training wheels and take them off. Whereas this
mhm,
is the one where he's like, fuck, I might be deciding my planet's fate.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And and again, and I think we spoke about this like those years ago that we first started reading Invincible, but
Hmm.
there's a lot of Dragon Ball Z in Invincible, like you
Robert
get,
Kirkman's a fanboy. He's got to be. Yeah.
yeah, like you can feel the influences. He was like, I'm gonna take Kryptonians and Saiyans and I'm gonna make them into Viltrumites.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I mean, hell, even the don't
Um,
Viltrumites get stronger if they get their asses
yeah.
beat and recover? Yeah,
Yeah. Like by like season the second half of season two, Mark is going to be way strong now.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rex Explode, by the way, is Krillin.
Mhm.
Oh no, I'm sorry, he's Yamcha. Yeah. Yeah. Because at some point he just becomes irrelevant.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Fucking
Yeah.
hell.
Shout out to Yamchas.
Shout out to
Yeah.
you, Yamcha, and you,
Yeah.
Rexplode. Yeah. Um,
By the
I
way,
think,
Jason Momsuka's same
yeah,
guy in everything he does.
That's
It's
very
good, but he's
yeah.
the same guy.
His is the only character, and I mean this in a good way. His is the only
Mm.
character in the show who is so like over the top, and almost like cartoonish in a way,
Yeah.
but it's very on brand for Rexplode, So
Yeah, it's actually uncanny to the pages. Like
yeah,
I make fun of Jason Mantzoukas lovingly because he's a great actor and I love the roles he's done. He's
yeah,
got hilarious lines.
oh yeah,
Um, but it works so well with Rexplode. It definitely is, you know, he's living up to the character in the pages really well. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You know, moving forward, man, I really obviously I loved season one.
Hmm.
Season two had a lot of expectations and big shoes to fill. And I think, man, I think they're really doing a good job nailing it. But I guess kind of as we've been alluding to tonight, their biggest struggles, I think, are going to be the balancing act of all the different arcs and narrative paths they can take, because the the story is going to continue to branch out and get bigger. And how they continue to proceed is it's going to be interesting to see like what's paths they take.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that's also part of the benefit of the TV show too. To call back out to season one.
yeah.
What was the name of the character Mahershala Ali voiced?
Oh shoot.
Yeah, the really cool guy who could like rock all over his body.
Right,
Who was
right.
that guy? Yeah,
Like
yeah.
not Luke Cage. Luke Cage. Yeah.
Which is ironic because he
Right.
was Coppermouth.
Because he was talking about
I mean, he wasn't Coppermouth. Let's be honest, but he was
right.
Coppermouth.
Close enough. Yeah.
Well, no, no, no. Remember, his name's not Cottonmouth, Quentin. Yeah,
That's right. Don't call him that. Yeah.
yeah. There you go. Yeah,
He he
yeah.
he stays hydrated when he wakes up. I'm glad you got that.
There's
Yeah.
a homie who uh everyone just like rolled their eyes at our jokes back to back.
A little bit.
I love it. I
I
love
can't
it.
say that I blame them.
Me neither. Me neither. But hey, we're doing this for the fun for you too.
Right.
Uh,
So
but
yeah,
yeah, whatever that guy's name is, the reason I bring him up, I hope you're looking up the name. Thank you for helping
yeah,
me. So the reason I bring him up in the first place is you made the point that they're going to have a hard time balancing all the plates. Yeah, that guy.
yeah.
Thank you for the book. It looked like your fingers pointing to Invincible, ironically, but the guy he was talking to, yes,
Right.
yeah, yeah, we know.
It's not Mark. Yeah, it's not okay.
Yeah, no, no, it's not Mark. But no, like in season one, we see him, and he had a relevant chapter. He took
Right.
off like a whole episode or two. Now here's the thing: we haven't seen him at all,
Yeah.
and that's a luxury the TV show has, where they can leave things kind of like marinating and slow cooking, and then get to it later. So I and again, they still have to play the balance game a little bit, but it
His
works to their benefit. What's up?
his name was Titan.
Dan. Yeah, thank you, Titan, which is a great name. Makes sense. Yeah.
I do agree with you to a degree.
Mhm.
I guess for me the only issue is that like let's say they bring him back in season three, and that's
Yeah.
in 2025. How
Mm.
many people are going to remember Titan, and will he feel that's important then? And I feel like that's kind of a similar problem that they had in the comic books a little bit. Like, don't get
Mm.
me wrong, I love the comic books,
Yeah, yeah.
but if I had to, critique it, I would say some of the things, Robert Kirkman just didn't think were going to be that popular, like Battle Beast. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like he didn't know that Battle Beast was going to be that fucking popular when he made him. He was just supposed to be, and then he was like, holy shit, people really like this guy.
Yeah.
But there's several different little miniature stories like that you think might lead to something bigger or grander, um and then maybe they do or maybe they don't. So It'll just be interesting to see if they can kind of balance that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's fair.
Kevin, we don't have to spend a whole lot of time here, but let's just take like 5, 10 minutes or so to have a little bit of a spoiler filled discussion before we wrap up here tonight.
Happening right now, homies. You heard the warning. We're talking. We're gonna spoil some shit.
Yes. So, homies,
Yes.
if you guys are listening in right now, that means that you are a-okay with spoilers for Invincible. That means that shit that has not as
Hmm.
yet happened on this TV show, we will be discussing to a degree. All
Yes,
right.
which means we'll be discussing the exact happenings of the comic book pages
Yes.
to clarify my boy's point.
100%.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, the back half of this season then has to be about the introduction of Ollie and,
Yep.
and him, his rapid aging,
Yep.
Uh, that's
Also, it has
yeah,
to be about the introduction of Nolan to Alan.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I admittedly don't remember, and I wanted to pick your brain. I haven't had a chance to re-look it up again.
Mm,
What was because we know that Nolan was a writer, in his his Earth life, he was a writer,
yeah.
and in both the TV show and the comic books, he tells Mark, look in my books,
Yeah.
in terms of like a solution for this problem. I'm trying to remember what was in his books.
So I think honestly it's like a roughly, I want to say coordinates. Like the books were pulled from real examples.
Right? It was
Oh,
for a weapon. That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Oh, the Siva strain. The
yeah,
equivalent of.
that's
Yes, yes,
right.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah. That's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. See, our powers combined.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
remember it was like it was talking about like past worlds that the Viltrumites took control of. Salute,
Hmm.
baby. But Maddie's mute. But um
God bless you, Maddie. She's been blessed.
poisonous bless you as well, Maddie.
Yes.
But yeah, it was both like talking about like the past worlds they took out, the adventures that they had, and then like the virus that
Yeah.
wiped out so many of the Viltrumites. Yeah,
That's what it was. Yeah. It was that fucking virus. Yeah. And yeah, that's right. That's what he hid in those books.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
And our boy Thaddeus will have something to say about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Thaddeus, our secret Viltrumite hiding in plain sight,
yeah.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime. Who'd have thought?
Yeah. Who would have thought? Goddamn Transformer. You can't trust him.
Yeah,
Except you can technically trust this one. He's a good guy.
he's gonna tell he's gonna tell everybody to roll out.
Yeah. Oh,
All
you
right.
know, that was one of the things that, in retrospect, like you should have seen coming. I feel like, okay, this guy's got to be a Viltrumite, you know.
When
But
I read the book, I didn't.
me either. Me either. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is, and again, big spoiler alert if you guys are still here, you bold motherfuckers. Um, fucking Rudy being one of the big bad villains of the entire story.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
And again, Robert Kirkman does a great job of distracting you from the obvious when it comes to Rudy, because
Mhm.
look at his origin, right? And again, I'm not trying to judge him for being a deformed little fucking eggplant in a test tube, but that's kind of what he is in the beginning, and he controls the robot suit, by other means.
Mhm.
And then the TV show handles it with more grace, I think, than the comic books. But I believe in the comics, does he wait? He waits for Rex to die, and then he clones the body and uses Rex's body for himself. Whereas in the TV show, he Rex is still alive.
Oh, wait. I can't remember. I thought honestly that he did it in the pages the same way he did in the show. He just pulled the trigger at different times. Because I thought in the show he did it when he was alive and took the blood sample secretly, like in season one. I couldn't remember though. You
Yeah,
might have to fact check me there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to find it earlier, but I don't think I have the. Well, I have it, but I don't have
Mhm.
it within arm's reach. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
when Rex dies, um,
Yeah.
or when he. So yeah, I had to look that up again. We'll have it for season or the back half of season 2.
I was about to say, do you think that's going to happen this season?
That's a good question, man. I was worried about Rex in season 1 because they pulled the trigger on that so soon.
Yeah.
Like them introducing young Rudy, and you might be right. Maybe he was still alive,
Yeah.
um, but it just kind of seemed it's either way. That's not really a heroic thing to do,
No,
you know. Yeah,
no, it's
yeah,
not. Yeah. Um. Honestly, my theory is that by the end of season 2,
yeah. For Rex, I
yeah.
think I
I
think you
mean, we're
might.
already seeing it happening. We're already seeing his story start that ribbon tying. It's gonna get wrapped up nice and neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like when you think about interesting side arcs, Rudy's side arc with Monster Girl,
Yeah.
the best.
Angela, is that her name? Angela? I can't remember.
I forget.
Monster Girl.
Angelica?
Yeah.
Was it Angelica
Angelica.
or Angela or something? We have the means.
Yeah. We have the technology. Um.
Monster Girl name Amanda.
We were close.
Yeah, it was.
A.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was A.
yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. Yeah. With Amanda there, that was one of the most intriguing side arcs, and seeing their relationship and how they kind of grew apart and how they grew together literally and
Hmm.
figuratively, and then how they grew apart. Uh, that shit was really really cool, I thought, and
Oh yeah.
seeing how Rudy changed over the years. Um, yeah, man, I really really dig their side arc. Now, the question is like, I don't know how many seasons this TV show plans to go,
Yeah.
but how long do you go on some of these arcs, right? So like, do you wrap up Angstrom Levy in one season, or do you drag him out some because he lasts a pretty long time in the comic books before he's
Drag him
killed.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, drag him out. I mean, don't turn him into the next Doc Seismic or nothing. But drag
right.
him out. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I love what they did with Doc Seismic, by the way.
yeah,
You can keep the ones made of wood. That
right.
made me laugh. That was
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah,
But granted, yeah, Angstrom Levy, not Levi, is a
right.
great character.
Oh yeah,
Honestly, I'd love to see like his bulk of the story, kind of like begin coming to a peak here.
hmm
Season 3, we see that peak being like began to be dealt with, but then
yeah,
like we still see like evidences of, and still Angstrom Levy, to some degree later on too.
yeah.
Maybe not as prevalent in some cases, but yeah, I'd say like nah, let's not just wrap them up nice and neat in one season. That's too convenient. That's too easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and
Mm.
and also because there's a lot of cool things that happen with Mark dealing with Angstrom Levy. Because, for example, Mark murders him, albeit accidentally. He still straight up murders Angstrom Levy,
In a
and
desert. Yeah.
he's in the fucking
Yeah.
desert.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh shit, my bad, dog. I didn't mean to kill you like that."
I got sand all up over this. Oh man, my oh
And because yeah, Mark gets stranded there, correct?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's a whole thing. Um, Another thing we got to talk about is uh what do we do with his girlfriend whose name I just forgot?
Amber.
Amber. That's the other A name. Yeah. Uh I'm so torn on Amber, right? Because on one hand, she's kind of a nothing burger in the comic books, like she's Mark's girlfriend and that's it
Right.
in the comics.
We see her again maybe in like issue 10 or 11, and that's
Yeah,
it.
that's
That's it. Yeah.
whereas in the TV show, I love that they gave her more pizzazz, more charming personality. However, I think Amazon took notice from some complaints. She was a little annoying in season one.
Mhm.
And they seem to have reeled that in quite a bit, thank goodness. But she seems like a more important character, which leads me to again kind of ask you, what do you think we do with her? Because her and Mark, at some point, they gotta
I
split.
think I think honestly, like making her a more liked and more important character is a good move because that's going to make that way more heartbreaking, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that matters because we need to see just like Homeboy going through the desert, just like Homeboy dealing with murder, just like Homeboy dealing with that one Viltrumite woman who shan't be named much later on in the story. You
Arista.
gotta
We're in the spoiler section. We'll
That's fair, that's fair. Go ahead, say her name. How do you say that name?
Arissa.
There you go. Say it loud
Yeah.
and proud.
Yeah.
That bitch. But
Yeah.
yeah, what I'm getting to is that we see him go through hardships, and they need to feel hard. This show does a great job telling the story, but also making the story hit in
Hmm.
funny, in drama, in impactful, in violent. So by all means, make her prevalent, make her likable, make it dramatic. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I do agree with that. I think that is a pretty excellent point. Like you said, the more important she is, the more impactful the split will be.
yeah.
Um, but I guess then my question is, if you build her up and you make her this more important character, do you write her off or do you keep her around? And if you keep her around, obviously, what do you do with her?
I'm gonna go with the simple answer because
Mm,
I agree with the simple answer, and that is we were just talking about how many plates the show's got to balance.
yeah.
One way to balance all those plates is you make room for more plates. You know,
Oh boy.
so
Do we have
I,
Quest kill her? That would be
no, 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 no. Red button, break, stop. No, no, no. I'm saying, hey, let her retrograde out of the story. You
Mm,
know, maybe have like an image of her character watching the news every now and again, maybe as she finds the new boyfriend.
yeah.
But yeah, no, for the most part, we need to just like not, we need to, mm, oh no, here's a funny way to put it.
Mm,
Uh, Robert Kirkman and the showmakers need to find a way to pay Zazie Beats up to this point and say,
yep.
okay, we're going to give you a break from the show and ask you to come back later in this season, okay? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Why not? You
yeah.
know? Yeah.
Mm,
Uh yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they decide to handle that whenever they get there, you know. Uh
yeah.
because I mean that's one thing that they definitely can't change. That'd be a big change if they do, you know. Her and Mark have to split at some point for Mark and Adam Eve. Um yeah, so we mentioned Conquest a little bit earlier.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta be honest, I think okay. It's hard for me to like rank my favorite villains in this series, but Conquest might be number two for me. Like I think that he has the intimidation of Battle Beast.
Mm-hmm.
It's Battle Beast has more of a sense of has more of a code of honor than
Yeah.
Conquest does. You know, Battle Beast is almost like the Predator, right? Where if he rolls up on you or me, he's not really that concerned with us. He's looking
Yeah.
for a worthy prey, worthy opponent. Whereas Conquest, you're
He's
fucking
like, yeah, he's like Maestro Hulk, but can fly.
yeah, fucking
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Focused, headstrong,
hmm
will murder you.
yeah.
Will
I'm
murder you with a heartbeat.
right.
Yeah.
I am more afraid of Conquest than Thrag. You know, who's like the fucking Belgiumite leader. You know,
So I gotta ask, who's your favorite villain then? If Conquest number two.
um, season one or volume one Omni Man.
Yes,
Yeah.
dude, that monologue J.K. Simmons did on the mountaintop,
Oh
I
man.
think, was
Yeah.
one of the best reasons season 1 hits.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about season 2. I loved that monologue.
Yes.
Look what you made me do. Why did you make me do this? Like, oh, I could watch on repeat, dude.
Eat.
Oh my gosh. That's why I was saying earlier, like J.K. Simmons, can I just pay you to like yell motivational shit at me in like an emotional monologue, please?
Right.
I'll just make that my ringtone.
And again, not to sidebar us, but how good
Yeah.
he in Baldur's Gate 3 as Ketherick Thorn. I thought he was excellent.
Right? He was awesome. He was
Yeah.
so good. Yeah. He was like, he was powerful,
Mhm.
but he was,
There was a sadness to
yeah. There was a lethargy too, because he was like, I will kill you now,
right.
and I will raise your body to be a part of my army. And it's
Very
just like,
act. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you believed everything he said. Like his delivery was so on point.
Yeah.
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 Loved it.
Like a powerful character who has dealt with and is still dealing with so much,
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. Yeah.
Talk about
Jake.
Catholic form, everybody. Play Baldur's Gate. We already know Yar. Just play it some more.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we're gonna do tomorrow. So hey, everything comes
Yeah.
full circle. Yeah.
We started an evil campaign, everybody. I'm so excited.
Kevin is playing as the Dark Urge, so
Yeah.
that's gonna be fascinating. I'm playing as Necromancer Gale, so that'll be a lot of fun too. Yeah,
Good shit.
yeah. Yeah, man. There's still a lot of really cool shit, thankfully, that this show has to tap into, and I can't wait. So, like, obviously, in terms of things we're gonna get to next is gonna be um yeah, we got the meeting between, like you mentioned earlier, Alan and Omni Man,
Mhm.
and I mean that's going to be a very tense moment. You know,
Yeah.
we got what it's kind of again to compare to Dragon Ball Z. You know, like the Virtuemites saying that hey, we're going to come to Earth at this time, so you need to get Earth prepared, Mark. That, that is very much the equivalent of Radish telling Piccolo, you know, in 1 year's time, you know, two Saiyans stronger than I will come,
Yeah.
and now you got to get fucking ready, you know. So the team or Guardians of the Globe, you know, they got to get ready,
Yeah.
and you know, and Immortal, he may have lived, you know, 70 years or whatever Abraham Lincoln would say,
Yeah.
but that shit.
70 millennia ago.
Right. But that shit ain't gonna cut it for these Viltrumites, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I don't know.
but yeah,
I don't care how many duplicates you get. Yeah.
yeah. Which next to Mystique, Duplicate may be like the best fictional superheroine to be with. Because if you with Mystique, think about it. Obviously,
How
Mystique.
did I know you were gonna say that? How did I know you were gonna go down this road?
You don't know me. You don't know me.
I know you, sir.
Obviously, Mystique is always going to be number one because you have
Yeah.
Mystique, you have everybody. All
Yeah.
right, but
Yeah.
Duplicate, I think she's a contender for if you like one Duplicate, just one, then that joy can only be. It's like Doctor Manhattan, all right, when he was, you know, when he was with Lori, you know, you got one Doctor Manhattan, you got as many as you want, you know.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
thing with Duplicate, yeah.
You're not gonna run out.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm like, come on, Duplicate. Like, okay, 8 of you can be with Immortal. Give Rex one. You know, he just wants one.
It don't even have to be number one. It could be number 31.
Yeah, you number 31. Doesn't matter. You don't give a shit.
Oh man. Oh
Um,
my gosh, I've missed this.
yes, same. Very much same.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, what's up? What you about to say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I just saw a concept artwork of Mark with Omni Man's mustache. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah. Um.
It's part
Yeah.
of the Viltrumite race, you know. You got to have the stash, just like
You
the
gotta,
tail.
You gotta rock the stash. That's right. Um, yeah. So yeah, I was just kind of looking again at the end of volume 3 to see where they're gonna take us with
Okay.
the back half of season 2, which they said is gonna come early 2024. Who the fuck knows what that means? Early 2024. That could
February.
yeah, that could be January. It could be fucking technically April. You know,
Don't do that to us.
I
Don't
know.
do that to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Um,
know it's already ready too. Come on.
yeah, like, it's got to be right. The good news is, I think the turnaround time for season 3 would be much shorter. Hopefully,
Good. Good.
yeah.
Good. Mm.
Um, but yeah. With that being said, man, before we wrap up here, Oliver. I know, guys.
Yeah.
For those of you who are listening in who haven't read the comic books, that is the name of the little blueberry boy.
How dare you? Yep. Oliver Grayson. Yep. Yep.
Yes,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
yes. Um, his character is obviously super important for several reasons, but I think in terms of like what we're gonna get soon, he is actually a big part of Debbie's healing process.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
which is crazy to say because they share no blood relation, you know, and not only that, but the man who she thought she loved, that's his kid with another person, but
With another
still
bride.
another
Yeah.
bride. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He moved on.
Really, it speaks to, I can't remember the tailor's name. Arthur.
Art. Yep.
Art. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe Arthur was the proper name. Okay.
Probably.
You improper non-gent. Ah, you're a gent. What can I say?
Oh shit.
But yeah, Art.
Mark
Um.
voices him.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. He was talking about in season 2 how Debbie was the strong one, and he gave an important short speech about that. How you know Nolan was invincible. He well, not really. He was he was you know impervious. He
Right.
was super strong, super fast. A superhuman being who wasn't a human being at all.
Mhm.
He had it easy. Debbie was the one who constantly had to prove her strength by raising Mark on her own, by you know raising the family, upholding the household, actually creating a semblance of a life. And this is just a further testament to what she's about to go through with Oliver, to that strength and just how amazing of a woman Debbie is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's commendable as hell.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And man, I hate to keep doing this, but they're just right there in front of me, so I have to kind of do it. But I can see like an alternate future in Dragon Ball Z where like you take season 1 or like book 1 of Invincible and you apply it to Dragon.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the viral heart disease takes out Goku. There are no Cell or androids, right? And you have Vegeta on Earth. Hey, hear me out here. Trunks becomes of age, and Vegeta's like, son, got some shit to tell you. All right, I killed Piccolo and
Mm.
Yamcha and Tien and Chaozu, and I don't know what he is.
Yeah, he's a Pokemon.
Yeah. and you and I were actually part of the same Saiyan race, and it is up to us to conquer this planet. And you are actually technically the future prince of all Saiyans. And Trunks would be like, no, Dad, no. What about Mom? Your mom is a fucking pet. Like, I can see Vegeta in a different timeline doing all of that shit. You know,
Actually, yes, I
yeah.
could see Vegeta almost doing that shit numerous times in our timeline. I could see Vegeta doing that and then immediately backtracking, like, no, wait, never mind. I apologize.
Right.
Uh, she's not a pet.
She's not, yeah.
So she matters to me. Ayo, yeah.
um but yeah, man, I think that's all I have for like the spoiler field section,
Yeah.
man. Do you have anything else?
I gotta give a shout out to Walton Gibbons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Gigons, like Giggons ONS, I believe.
Uh,
Um,
Walter Goggins.
Goggins, thank you. Yes, it is Watson Goggins.
Yep.
Uh, he is incredible, dude. I am
Oh,
such a fan of him too,
yeah.
and
Right.
I I really enjoy Cecil in
Oh
every
yeah.
scene I get him in. He is like, man, if I could be as competent as that,
Right.
dadgum, I'm I'd own the company I work
Oh
for. You
yeah.
know,
There is one more question I have for you. I
yeah.
guess
What's up?
two more. They're tied together. But Donald, was this plot from the comic books? I didn't think so.
Nope, that
I
was new
didn't.
material. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
didn't.
Because in the comic books they just replace them, and we're all like, wait, what the hell? And then
Yeah,
that's it. But
yeah,
now in the TV show, they're actually giving credence to it, and it's really interesting, actually.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder what does that lead to. And I know we said this 2 years ago when we reviewed season one.
Mhm.
But damn it, he is adult Bobby Hill, and nothing has changed about that.
Cecil will go home from his job at the Pentagon and watch King of the Hill to decompress and be
Right?
like, I'm gonna make that my assistant.
Yeah.
Because that's just what he does. He goes home, he binges King of the Hill, and he's like, I like that character so much, I'm gonna make that my office assistant to keep me calm. Uh,
Yes.
and Cecil in every universe does this. Like Cecilia, the old woman Cecil that we
Yeah.
see in the other universe, that's what
Yep.
he did too.
She did the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, with um Fabia Hill.
Yeah. Bobina.
Fabina?
I guess Bobby is some. There's women out there called Bobby, so it could still be Bobby.
I have nothing to say to that. I think you're right. This is a podcast. I have nothing to say.
Yep. But yeah, I thought that I almost called him Bobby again. I thought that the Donald uh
He looks at Cecil. That's not my purse. I don't know you.
kicked some square in the nuts.
Before he can teleport away.
Right.
Like he
Yeah,
does it as they teleport together, and so the
right.
kick just got teleported. Yeah.
My nuts hurt in two places at one time. Oh shit.
Oh my gosh.
Damn. Okay. Okay. You know what? We're
Oh
done.
man,
We're
we're
done here.
done. I gotta
Yeah.
get my blood back down, man. I gotta go to bed, dude. I'm all oh
Yeah.
man. Oof.
Yeah. I don't think we can top that.
Yeah, that was great.
Um, Kevin, any closing comments, thoughts, remarks about Invincible? Any of it?
I love it, dude. Such a great storyline. You know, it has quickly become one of my most respected and admired superhero stories that we can consume today. You know, and I say that with full purpose because, hey, guys, everybody listening, all the homies and homie S's out there, guess what? Those books Q had, those aren't exclusive. You can go buy those. You know, they might be hard to get right now because everybody's jumping on the invisible. You can't jump on invisible trains, people. Don't do it. But you can jump on the invincible train, and you can get the books. It's readily available, and it is great. It is an awesome story, and it is worth every page and every cent. You know, um, it is a crime that I don't have them, but that's because I've yet to steal them from Q.
Wait a minute.
What?
I,
You didn't hear that? Your
I
mic's not working. Nope.
it is, and my
That's
headphones is
me.
also working.
I can't hear you, buddy. You're phasing in and out. What's happening here?
Hey. Uh, but no, I concur, man. Like this is a fantastic story, and I think that I mean, if you guys want to get into comics, it's a good one to get into. You know, the
Oh yeah,
good news is, like in most cases, I gotta be honest, man. Image books, I can tell you from personal experience, they don't cost as much as Marvel or DC. Especially like if you're getting them like the collected edition style books, you know.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, like definitely not as much. This retails for 35, which means you can probably get it for 20.
yeah.
Uh, so it's good shit. I love the TV show, man. They're really killing it. And I mean, like everyone else, we're waiting patiently for the back half of season two. Uh this has been great, Kevin. Thank you again, brother, for agreeing to join me for this. Uh,
Always, dude. Man,
Yeah.
I've missed it. I've missed you guys, homies. I'm so happy to constantly hear all the updates and see all the cool news that the podcast has to offer. Man, I'm just excited for where it's going to go. And honestly, it can go more places with all the homies' help.
Absolutely.
Please
Uh,
Patreon.
yeah, that's right.
Shameless plug.
Shameless
That
plug.
plug, shameless.
That's right. Yeah, you guys are great. But that's going to be all for this one. Kevin, my brother, thank you again for joining me, man. This has been awesome. But until next time, homies, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
And I'm superhero homie Kevin.
Hell yeah.